to be outside with someone working and not help them?
No, I can't do that. That's why I have to leave when somebody's working inside my house.
Yes.
I can't stand that. It feels so, I don't know, I don't feel.
I agree with it, yeah.
So I'm going to call the meeting to order at 5:30 p.m. And I'll make a note that the date says February 12th and it's May 14th at the top of the document.
Okay, thank you. What observation?
And I'll be the chair this evening because Ms. Cummings can't be here.
Correct.
And
He's absent.
And we welcome
No,
Sarah
it's
to her first
Oh, yes.
meeting.
And we also welcome the new Public Works Director, Mr. Harwell.
Thank you.
Indeed.
So anything you want to add to what you've already told us?
No, just I'm excited to work with council and all the chairs that I'll be involved with, and I hope that we can be productive.
Yes.
Great.
So
I
do we.
regret I won't be here to keep on doing this, but duty calls.
Yep.
So discussion on the pool, we haven't had a meeting in 6 months, so I'm completely in the dark. I haven't spoken with Caitlin, but in passing in months. So just going back to the old business, there's the whole issue of hiring a pool manager and lifeguards. I understand that they have hired a pool manager,
I believe they
Josh,
have.
he's a very
Josh,
nice young
yes.
man.
Josh is part of our parks department within Public Works, and he's got his certifications for his pool maintenance. He's also certified in certifying lifeguards.
Oh, so he can train, because that was an
He is
issue
a
before.
certified lifeguard trainer, so he's going to be doing that. I know there's a few lifeguards that have applied that were returning lifeguards that needed to get recertified, so they're in the process of doing that. They started that process last Sunday. They weren't able to do any pool work though because of the weather, but they did most of their work that they needed to do outside. So I don't know if they've scheduled the second half of that, but they are going to be doing that. We had some interviews last Thursday, so we interviewed some lifeguards that were very good candidates. All of those were returning lifeguards. Our plan for now is to open the 24th, I believe, is the Friday before Memorial Day. Is that correct?
It sounds right.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah, so that's the plan, and everything is going smoothly, and we don't foresee any issues with that happening.
And do you have people scheduled to take tickets or sell tickets?
Those will be
or-
the lifeguards themselves.
Oh, okay.
They'll when they do rotation on life, they'll do a rotation where they're actually
I see.
lifeguarding. When they come into the office, that's when they'll be able to do that. So,
Same hours as
Mhm.
last year?
yes.
And I know that the Bloomers are talking about, we want 2 palm trees and colourful umbrellas over tables at one end of the pool. And I believe you weren't totally sceptical of what we wanted, and I gather that Josh says, I'll water them, no problem. So I think we're going to be coming to you, hopefully to gussy up the pond. The pool.
Absolutely, that's fine. Yeah, that's what the Parks Department is there for, is to maintain those.
And y'all already have the funding?
The Bloomers will
Oh, no. Okay.
pay for it.
Okay.
I think.
Always ask Uncle Sloan and Aunt Danielle too.
No, this is the Bloomers. I'm afraid I've decided that the Bloomers have been very stingy about spending their money. And so when we were all so gung-ho at having earned $6,000 on the garden tour last year, we were all thinking, oh, this is lovely. Well, what are we going to spend it on? Well, do we have to spend it? Yes! So, anyway, we're stepping up. We're spending our money.
Anything else about the pool?
Not that I know of.
No.
and everything's been functioning fine with the solar heating, and I know there's some
Yeah.
issues ironing that out when
They're functioning correctly and as efficiently as they are going to be. I mean, it's,
Okay.
so
Wait a minute, what does that mean?
Do they work?
oh, they work. Is
Is the water gonna be warm?
just that I couldn't tell you. They work. They'll heat. But we're in a higher elevation, and so we'll heat it up as much as we can.
Oh, is that right? Because I mean, last year they were thrilled to bits with themselves
Good.
that it was always at the
Yeah, there's-
right temperature.
There is no
It
issues
took a
with it.
while.
So did it?
But I did, yeah.
I think they had to dial it all in and.
Yeah, there are no
New
issues.
systems.
I sense skepticism here.
Well, I like my water a little bit warmer, so that's why I say that. I mean,
Okay.
some people, they get it warmed up and it's cold. It's for me.
Just swim faster.
Yeah.
So, move on to the parks update.
Yes.
The only thing I've noticed differently was did Bisbee Bloomers change the plantings in front of the pool? I noticed that the other day when I was at the park
Okay,
with my
didn't
dogs,
know.
so.
Oh, wait a minute. They were really happy because something had come back. The petunias or
That's it,
something
okay,
had come back.
so they must have been planted last year or
Yes.
something, okay, I guess it had been a while since
Yeah.
I had been up there. So, I'm not really aware of anything, the volleyball court's being used, the pickleball court's being used, the basketball court's being used.
Good.
That's all I really know, and then there was something about discussing of plantings at Grassy Park, again, I have no idea
Again,
what
that's
that.
the Bisbee Bloomers,
Okay,
who are giving $200 to the Parks Department to plant annuals in Grassy Park so that it looks a bit more colourful
in
through the
that,
summer.
in that back area
Apparently
that's kind
so.
of fenced off,
Apparently so.
okay. Do we ever know what happened with that statue? That the lady had cast and.
Oh, that was on the Vista, wasn't it? Wasn't
No, it was going into Grassy Park.
What was it?
And
I don't know.
I don't know, she just kind of was left dangling, last I heard.
I'm sorry, I have.
No,
No,
I'm
it's all right.
curious, it just kind of, I think she got lost in the shuffle between Andy and Dwayne and all that sort of
Jesus,
stuff, and now he's.
Have you heard anything about a
Statue?
statue
Oh,
in a
no,
park
I
that's
haven't.
been? It has. You're quite right. It's been going on for years. This.
Like a year and a
conversation.
half or something like that.
Yes.
I wanna say September of last year,
Don't
it
know.
was at the old city hall when she
Are
first
there
brought it up.
minutes kept?
Yes,
So that you could look back at minutes? And
I guess we
see?
could. Lorena does
When-
it from the.
Oh,
Yeah.
There was
I
a-
wonder if you did
Yeah.
minutes, okay.
This was in a committee meeting, a Parks Committee meeting? or-
yes, this woman.
Several.
How long ago? I have.
Oh, certainly
wanna
the
say it
last
was-
the last minutes. It will be in the last minutes because
Well,
we've discussed it every single
I
time.
have
It would be
the
from
action
November.
agenda from November 13th. Is that
Possible.
be it?
On there? But I wanna say it originally came up maybe it was at the old city hall when it first came up. So,
So
whatever that.
nothing in November 13th. And then I have one here from August 14th.
It will have been discussed at both of those meetings.
No, I just feel bad for that woman because she actually followed the process
And it got.
and
yeah.
she spent a considerable amount of her own money having that statue cast.
Don't even know who it is.
I forget her name.
I don't see anything in these, so I'll
You
Could
go
you
back
just-
and look.
Yeah,
yeah, I can do that.
thank you. Yes, it was always sort of pushed to one side. We all said that it was too bad, or oh yes, or.
Well, it wasn't that. We were like, oh, everyone has to follow the process because other people were getting things shoved through, and so we wanted to make everyone follow the process, and she did, and
Nothing happened.
nothing happened.
So this was a statue that she was supposed to?
That she has made.
Her already
She
made it.
has
Yeah.
made, and
Her.
it was supposed to, with the intent of putting it, I thought in Vista Park.
Oh,
but
it
you
was
say
in Grassy
Grassy
Park.
Park. And it's just sort of never
Yeah, the city was
been
just going
followed
to
through.
install a pedestal for it, I believe, and she was going to, I believe, even arrange for everything else. I don't know if the city was going to install it or she had
And we've
arranged.
forgotten her name. I'm sure Kaylin can fill this in.
Mm-hmm. I'm
Or
just curious.
Dwayne,
'cause
or... Yes. And it's from Andy Heratic days.
yeah, the
so-
olden days.
Okay, I'll look into that and see
Thank
if I
you
can
very much.
find where that's at.
Thank you. The other thing about, I'm ahead of myself, Parks budget.
But I don't have anything else to say about the parks.
Am I dreaming things nowadays? I seem to remember a memo or an email from someone who suggested that the pool budget was missing $120-something thousand. And there was nothing suggested that was bad about it. It was just that it had got put in another... Am I dreaming? No, I'm not dreaming. I've seen something about it, that it got put in an... It was definitely for the pool and it had got put in another part of the city budget. No one was suggesting that someone had stolen it for their, bit of the budget. But Kaylin was very anxious that it be sorted and acknowledged to be the pool money rather than
Just general.
general
parks.
fund.
Do you know where that money was generated
sorry.
from? No?
Oh, I think,
Was it?
wouldn't it have been fundraising for the pool?
Let me grab my book and see, my budget book and see
Yeah, I
if
don't
I see
think they've
something.
ever made that much.
No, but I mean, it could have been the accumulated money, but
Sorry.
I don't know, it
Sorry,
seemed like they've
I
always
should
been.
have asked Kaylin immediately about it.
That might just be from the parks budget, period, because I can't ever think of the pool having that, they're always, are we gonna be able to open the pool this year, so.
Well, let's see if I see something in here yet. Let's see here. Miscellaneous donations. Oh. So there's, I have within miscellaneous donations, and I don't know if that could be something, but I have within miscellaneous donations for parks and recreation, there's 250,000 there.
That's almost all dedicated to the things at Vista Park, I believe.
Okay,
That's,
anything
That's
else?
the Boucher thing, probably.
Anything else in there that could be for the pool? Let me go to the actual budget parks. I wonder if the pool actually-
Again, if you would like me to, I will email Kaylin this evening
Sure.
about it and say, I'm sure I have it wrong, maybe I've been dreaming.
Pool.
I dreamt about 2 mountain lions last night.
you're talking to the neighbor.
So within the actual swimming pool budget, the entire budget was $92,140. So that definitely, there's nothing within that.
Within that. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have brought it up.
No, it's a discussion.
I will email Kaylin and let you know what she said, or she will maybe send an email to us correcting me.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else regarding that? So, and then discussion on my resignation, I guess I could have just sent an email and no need to discuss
Well, certainly
anything. And
that's
everybody
what Deborah
knew.
did, yes.
No, and
Yes, and
everybody.
we've been expecting it, so...
Mhm, so I tried to give everyone notice so we could find someone to, I think poor Mr. Cummings is gonna have to step in temporarily.
Has he done it before?
Mm-hmm.
Has he really?
And they wouldn't, well, I don't know if it was Kaylin or everybody else that wouldn't let him off, it was probably Kaylin, so.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
Nepotism
Oh,
is...
I replaced him.
Ah, okay. Well, we've certainly got to go and get more...
Kaylin's the one with
Members.
all the
All the knowledge,
connections,
yeah.
and she has all the volunteer bank
Yeah.
in her head. So I really can't think of anyone off the top of my head, or I would have sent them your way.
We can think, I mean, get together and think about that.
Yes, I'm ashamed that I haven't thought about it, to tell you the truth. It just never occurred to me to think who.
Well, I think we would have, if we had had our February meeting, we would have kept that,
Yes.
that idea going. So no need to really discuss that. We already know it was happening.
Anyway, we accept it.
Okay.
Well,
I won't
accept
be
it, sorry,
physically
yeah.
present, so.
No,
it'll
There you go.
be
It doesn't really
impossible.
matter whether we.
I mean, I would be willing to come down for the June meeting.
Don't
if
worry
need be,
about it.
but.
We will get someone else.
So, and then old business, and now I'm looking back at the agenda for February and their discussion of flute player, and that's the statue. The
Oh,
statue of the flute
Flute
player.
player, I remember that.
So-
Flute player statue, I call it up.
So,
hmm.
and then what is happening at Huachuca Terrace School, which is the old middle school in San Jose?
Well, the library annex is there.
I saw that, but
And I thought that the science center was moving there.
I heard
Okay.
that yesterday.
They were at the ice cream social on Friday evening. I
Which-
don't know if they're not gonna have something down in Old Bisbee, or if they're having an annex. I think it's also gonna be their
I had
annex.
understood that it was both
Yeah.
places, of the science lab thing.
But I know that the library's very thrilled about that, because they can partner in a lot of things with the
Yeah,
kids in that
yes.
area.
but no discussion of like playground equipment or running paths or anything.
Well, the kind of was last year
Mhm.
when the Parks and Rec, the Bouchevets had very kindly given a lot of money for the sort of kiddie area
Mhm.
in
At
Vista
the end-
Park.
Oh, at Vista.
Vista Park, and also they're going to put a pavilion up by the Rose Garden, and they are they put the bocce courts in, which was a sort of lump thing that they wanted to do. And I know at that time it was suggested that they wanted to do this every year
And-
for a different park, and it was
Mhm.
suggested that San Jose might be the
Next
Oh,
logical.
that
the
would be
receptor of,
I think
because
to me that they should have gotten all the park stuff initially. I
Yes.
think that's where almost all the children live nowadays.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And
So-
they were playing out in the back where they were having the ice cream social, and they were just running around. There was nothing for
Nothing
them
there.
to do,
Mhm.
but then we mentioned, oh, it was really good to see kids running around back there, but there wasn't anything for them. so.
I recall that that was what was going to happen.
No, and the school had already agreed to, the school district had agreed to lease the property to the city, for
For-
$1 a year for 99 years or something like
And
that.
the thing I don't understand is, when we got this incredibly generous gift for Vista Park last year, it was sort of decided, the Bouchevets had approached the mayor, and then we were asked if we would accept it, and of course the answer was fabulous, yes. Is this what's going to happen? My question was, is this what's going to happen this year? That the Bouchevets are going to talk to the mayor about what was needed in San Jose, possibly in what used to be the San Jose playground, and then they come to us for
The rubber
a
stamp.
rubber stamp. I just don't know what has been decided or what will be decided. Obviously, we don't want to interfere if the Bouchevets like to speak to the mayor first and then have the mayor present it to us. I don't know.
But it'd be nice to have a committee member or two walking out there with them.
It would be lovely. It would be lovely.
Just because you saw, were you on the committee when they came to
Yes.
they made the Vista donation, and I
Yes.
suggested we have a public meeting,
Correct.
and I was kind of poo-pooed, but we
Oh,
had
no,
one
we had
anyways,
the
and instead
public
there
meeting,
were
yes, we
30 people who showed up.
Who showed up, who were interested, who
Mhm.
had ideas, and who were glad to have been consulted.
Exactly,
Yes.
and that's I mean, you know, you can,
But
of
that
course,
was-
they're going to be happy about it, but maybe they have a better suggestion, or, oh my God, don't do that,
I
we
quite
had that
agree,
20
but
years ago.
I quite
And
agree.
Just, you know, we don't have to agree
don't
with,
know.
I think people just feel more validated when they're
I quite
included in the process. you
Quite
know.
agree.
So,
So we really don't know. We're hoping that we will, obviously we're hoping that we get that sort of donation. I mean, it was a phenomenal one. But at this stage we can only hope it's going to happen because, as I say, we were presented with it having happened almost. So you know as little as we do.
Yeah.
Have you any suggestions as to how we can ask? I mean, we don't want to go, are you going to give the same money this year, you know, for something else, but
I don't. I can look into and see what happened. And
can you
Yeah.
mention it to the mayor?
Yes,
Should we be, you know,
and we certainly don't want to alienate the boucheries,
No, we
because
most
without
certainly
them,
don't.
our
we would have
playgrounds
nothing.
would look like that,
This.
you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Yeah.
And,
They may not even know that San Jose would be a possibility.
well, no, she came
Oh,
and
she did
spoke
know?
at the November meeting, I believe, because she was under the impression that we were being kept in the loop, Mrs.
Oh,
Bouchevet.
that was right, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's probably in the November minutes.
November minutes,
Okay.
but, no, I think she was
That's
kind of
right.
shocked.
That
She-
we
she-
hadn't been,
Mhm,
kept
she
in
had
the-
been
yes.
kind of led astray by Mr. Herrick, I think.
right.
So. But, and, discussion of the flute player, we already went through that, and more trees at Vista Park. I know we had been talking about this on and off, but we couldn't acquire them at a reasonable price.
At the right
And-
time of year.
And with the maintenance, and that was the issue, I think, was the maintenance. You know,
That's the actual city.
watering and, or hooking up an irrigation system.
Somebody has a white car out there with a dog in it. We're just making sure that they bring it in the dark, because somebody's pulling out and there's not gonna be a whole lot of shade on that car.
Whoa, how nice of you to worry. No, I don't believe any
No.
of us have a dog.
We don't know whose it is then.
Well, we have dogs, but not.
Okay.
I wouldn't leave
Thank
mine in
you.
the car.
Alright, thank you.
Hmm. So that's
Unless
still,
Jeff followed you out.
No. It's in his little crate.
so that's still kind of up in the air, the whole tree
Yep.
thing. We need to acquire
Yes.
money to pay someone to water them and put in the irrigation system.
Well, I think once again, the bloomers had suggested buying more trees
Mhm.
out of our
Like low maintenance
princely
kind of.
budget. Yeah, I think desert willows or mesquites.
Oh, okay.
I think someone suggested eucalyptus and we shot them down.
No, they take way too
Um,
much water.
Oh, you're
Please-
my man.
please
You're my
no.
man. I couldn't believe it. But we have people here from California who just
Oh,
think
why can't you just-
eucalyptus.
Yeah, and plant it,
Yeah.
but make it all green and verdant
Yes,
too.
yes, exactly right. The only thing we thought of, deciduous-wise, was apparently there's an Arizona ash,
Mm-hmm.
which is deciduous, so it would allow the sunshine to come through onto the bocce courts, if I'm pronouncing that right,
Mhm,
bocce courts, in the winter, but it would shade people sitting on the benches watching the games in the summer. And I thought that was rather a nice idea, and apparently I looked into it, and apparently there are some quite nice hybrids that are coming in of the Arizona ash, which are less water dependent and faster growing. So I know nothing, I defer to you if,
I don't know anything about those either.
we'll ask people who do.
Okay.
And,
But more
So-
trees are better. I've been looking into
Absolutely.
this for over a year, trying to get free trees from USDA and things like that.
okay, this is totally off subject, but the Bisbee Bloomers have scored. We have scored a young man, JJ Flores, who is an orchid grower. He's an orchid expert. He knows just about, you should see his house. It's full of orchids all over that he propagates, etc. And he has a wonderful inn with Lowe's garden centre, because he's gone there so often that he's known that whenever they see interesting trees come in, they invite him to come and look at them. So now he's on the Bisbee Bloomers board. He will act as our intercession person. Yes, there you go. So we're hopeful that we will get some nice trees.
Well, is there anything else in
Sarah, anything you would like to see discussed?
No,
Yeah.
I'm a newbie right now, so I'm
No,
just
and usually there's a
going
bit
in.
more discussion, because we have Ms. Hanson here, and we have a
Joe
full, our
Hanson is
full
our,
complement of
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
So, and unfortunately we lost two.
Yeah, there's one thing I did need to mention that wasn't on our agenda, is that we did receive a email and a resignation letter from Deborah Crow.
Yes.
So we need to make sure that we put that on the record.
okay, if anyone has to vote to accept it, I vote to accept it. I mean,
I don't know that we have to. I
Oh,
mean, maybe if you
we
want.
just all say, yes, we agree.
Yeah, or we
Yeah.
can put a
Just-
motion for it, then someone second it, and we vote on it, just to.
I
make sure.
move that we accept the resignations of both Deborah Crow and Peyton Dean.
Well, I guess I'll second it.
There you go.
Well, I
Yes,
can
that's
vote. I don't
it.
know if I can vote, but-
So done.
So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
All opposed? I think that's how Caitlin would do it.
Idea, yes. Good.
So,
Have you anything else that you would like
No,
to
that's
see
the only
Parks and
thing.
Rec do?
Right now, I'm still in the process of learning our processes and how the city works, and so right now I'm just still getting used to everything.
I'm sure you are, yes. And we would love to be a, I will speak now for the rest of the board, which is Kaylin really, and we would love to be more useful.
Okay.
We have felt, I think I speak for you also,
mhm.
we have acted as a kind of rubber stamp.
Mhm.
That proposals have been brought in and we've said, oh, that sounds wonderful, yes, great. Or a subject comes up, the pool, and you in future or will tell us what's happening at the pool, and we said, oh, that sounds wonderful, yes. Have you got what you need? We are not an active board. Maybe we're not supposed to be. Maybe we're not a board. Maybe we're a
We're a committee.
We're a
here to
committee.
advise.
Advisory
committee.
Advisory
Kind of
committee.
like
But it's nice to be kept in the loop.
Yes, we would love to be kept in the loop. We would love to be useful.
And to include the public more in the loop too, I think, has been an
Excuse me?
to include the public
Yes.
a bit more, when, when needed.
Yes.
Is the public invited to the?
Absolutely.
Oh, yes, normally, it was held at the, where
Mhm.
the city council would always hold their
Mhm.
meetings, and, very rare anyone would show up, but when we did have that one public meeting, I
Yes.
mean, we had,
Yeah.
there was 25 or 30 people,
Yes.
in fact, we even gained a member out of that, we
We
gained Deborah Crow
Yeah.
after that meeting.
Yeah, these
So-
meetings are open meetings and they're posted.
Okay.
We follow open meeting law.
So again, just know that we would love to be useful, or if we aren't useful, don't keep us going. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes,
I
I
mean,
do.
we have
I think there
no.
have, I think
um,
it has, the advisory committee
Is a,
is part, I mean, I think.
It's
all of-
rules.
It's part of.
it's the rules, okay.
Yeah, I think.
So use us.
I will.
Lovely, thank you very much.
No, I'd love to be out there, I had offered to Kaylin to replant all that
Yes.
front bit in front of the pool, and
Yeah.
she never called, so.
Oh,
Well, I mean, you
Yeah.
probably have, she knows people, so. So unless anyone has anything else, I move that we adjourn this meeting
It's a great idea.
at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
I think there has to be a.
I second.
Second and then the vote.
Aye.
Okay.
So usually our meetings are a bit more detailed, but we have
We
one
could
new
take
member.
some, I mean,
Absolutely.
yes, we have one new member
Joan
over here.
isn't here to put this